And welcome back to Overly Hour and day 7 of our Chocolatier shop build. Reason why my hands were all gluey is because I did not realise I was recording. So what I made was this light. There's a piece of wood in the middle which has a hole down here, and as you can see it's still very wet. And what you want to do is put a chocolate sign on both and make sure that this piece, so I just super glued this to it, you've got the double side where your wires are coming out, because that is what's going to attach to the house. Then I went ahead and made this, which is 2 rings, one at the bottom, one at the top, and a bulb which can be fitted afterwards. And these are covered because it's a cocktail stick with a wire that runs down, and mine is really messy. It's going to need tidying up when it's dry. All you have to do on this one is to make sure that those wires pop out the bottom of the stick, the paper, and not the ring, because otherwise you won't be able to have it sitting straight like this, because there's no hole in the floor for it. So I'm going to let these dry, get my hands tidied up. I apologise about that. I really thought I was recording, but you know, there we have it. I was not. And then we're going to attach the wall, not the one we were working on last, by the way. What I'm trying to do is get it to the position of doing the lighting, because a lot of these wires run all over the place. So I'm going to get it to that position. So I'll be back in a mo. Okay, the other thing, and I tried to super glue this but it didn't work, and I did show that, but as I've got to redo it, I'm going to use Bondic this time. So you want to keep the far edge clear, because that's going to go on our model. So I'm going to do it, it's like almost a recess where this goes in. So I'm going to do it here, because this does dry off colour, and this is just like a mini welder really, with a UV light, which is holding the wire in place. You probably can't see a thing really, other than my hand. I will show you. So it's just holding it here, just tacked it on there. And then this wire is going to go very carefully, because that won't have totally set, just along here, but not far. You don't need it to go far, because it's going to drop down into the little hole. So I'm going to put it here. Trying to avoid your hands on the weld, you know, so I can get my hands all the way in it. It does dry yellow, unfortunately. That's the only downside of this stuff, but it takes really quick. But it's also very easy to break, so if you pull that wire it will break it very easily. So just need to be careful of that. And this is just Bondic. Used it for quite a while. It's really good with wiring. Like I say, it does dry yellow. You can see it slightly, not this is super glue actually. This is the Bondic is here, but it will dry a bit yellow. And then just leave them hanging like so. Right, next we are going to get that off. Look at the base here. So there's a few things we're going to do, and it's not fitting in those walls, but we are going to put this in, which just goes on the inside of the check. So a nice easy guideline for it. So something like so. So get that glued in, and then we're going to be starting to run. Actually, before I do that, I'm not going to do that at all. And this I am going to super glue. I'm going to super glue this little one, which goes on here, and you want it to make sure that it's low enough down. Does this go on first? I think to myself. No, I think it goes like this anyway. Let me just check this, hold on. You turn the page. This is going to go over, so you want it on this piece, underneath here. This probably won't help us too much actually with our wiring, but we can have it here, getting ready. So we won't be doing the wiring quite yet. I thought we were, but I'm incorrect, because this piece goes over this piece like so, and this will hold the light. I want to do it while it's flat anyway, just checking myself, yeah. And then this wire will run along here. I may not be able to do what I plan to do that way. I did have high hopes of a certain way of doing this, but I don't know that I'll be able to. And then put this, not like that, put this like here. Which you could also technically put a tiny bit of glue on the sign, really. I might do that because it is touching it. Ow. Got my DNA. And then I'm going to just tack this in as well, and that's going to help stabilise it. As you can see, the super glue is holding well. Doesn't say to do this, but there again it looks like theirs is perfect, so and then we put this wall in, because what not this wall, the other wall, because what I plan to do I'm not going to be able to do. And that's okay. But we get something while it's flat. Okay, so this will run along here, run along this wall and take it to the top and go down. That's what will happen. So that can go over there. So back to what I was going to do anyway, which is this one. And the other one, this lamppost, is going to go in this far corner. And they want the wire running across the floor like so, and around the outside of the build. But I think I'm going to run it on the inside through here and up there, because all of this is pretty much hidden. So, which does mean that I might have to put a wall in that I didn't anticipate doing yet. Okay, let's go back to this. And mine actually doesn't sit that square, you know, considering I had it on this squarey thing. Okay, so let's see, what am I after? Wood glue. I think this middle part is a little bit lower. I had all in my mind of how I was going to do this, by the way, and get all the wiring done and dusted, so we didn't have to worry about any of it while it was upright, but that didn't actually happen. We might still be able to put that lamp in. I have thoughts on this, because we know where the wall is going to go, because it literally goes around the checkered flooring. My clamps aren't going to be big enough to hold this in either. There it is. Okay. So let me just measure that up. So mine's going to be a little bit, it is definitely a little bit off. And I don't have clamps big enough for this, so right, I'm going to hold it for a little while, put some weight on top of it, which should help it to stick. So I'll be back in a moment for you. Okay, while that's sitting there doing its thing, I am going to, I don't want to put these walls together, even though I know it says to. Because I needed to have some sort of movement when I get it all together. So I am going to put this lace in front of here, at the top here, where it's meant to go, and I'm going to cut it and then put another piece on the other one, so that on the inside or outside it will look like it's all the way around, leaving a little gap here because that's where the two walls are going to join, and this wall sits on top of this one, so the scissors went here, and we want the two walls to sit squarely. You don't quite want it all the way to the top. It's got a bit of overlap, isn't it? And then the same with this one, the right way up. And again, just let's get this a bit even. Going on, go downhill. Oh, I really don't want it quite to the corner. Something like so, and then put another piece along here, which can go from side to side. It's going to go on top of the other one, so doubting myself now. Yes, this is the inside. And what I was going to do the wiring, I won't be able to do because there's no hole. Remember that little box we put in which hides the music box? There's no way to put it on the inside without it interfering with the roof, so that ended that idea. And then put it down a little bit so it roughly matches with the other one. And this is the one going to go in the corner, and this one's going to be more free until the other one comes in. How's it going onto the house? I think that probably goes onto it as well, so we don't want it quite to the edge here either. They don't have it quite to the edge. Scissors not to cut into the lace. So something like so. That can sit there for a minute, and that's that. That's that. Now that wall might be done, so we'll go and have a look at that. Yeah, so I'm going to have to go around the outside with the lights. I mean, this one was going to go the outside anyway. It was the street lamp, which I didn't anticipate doing that with, but I do. Alright, I'll be back in a minute again. Alright, so they are in and secured. Had a mix of different glues to do the job. Next, and it doesn't tell you to do this, these items just suddenly appear inside the model, is you want to put my pane for the day one of my bookcase in, or day one and day two, wasn't it? It was 2 days to build this. This goes along the back wall, so it's going to go against here, which is why you could see why I was thinking I could hide the wires here, but the only way I could do that is drilling a hole through there, and I don't think that's such a good idea. And make sure that goes in, and that should be able to just sit, just using wood glue. This one as well can go in, and this one, the base will be slightly away from the wall. For me, if you'd lined it up right, mine's slightly off, then that wouldn't be the case, and that goes under here, underneath the cards. I can see how much my walls are off when I do that. Like so. Hopefully that's got enough clearance on that bar of chocolate. And then this one, the little display cabinet that we did, is kind of at the front, so a bit dangerous putting this in before the walls, but it kind of goes. How does it go? Could put this in afterwards as well, this one. It goes like so, but but I'm going to get the wall straight in now. So let's put these in. So I believe it goes on top on this side. That's what it worked out to be, wasn't it? I think so. And bottom here. Being careful not to trap your wires, and that will mean that this will push this counter in place too. You can see how far off my walls were. That undecorated one was when I put that little unit in. It's definitely off. Okay, and then this fits inside both, I believe. So I'm just gonna get that on. With the lace curtain on the inside. Okay, and then I'm going to go and clamp this because I think the clamps are big enough to hold this in. And this doesn't sit flat either. Oh dear, the toils, the toils. Anyway, I'm going to get this put together and clamped, and I will be back when that's done and ready for us to put the rest of the bits and pieces in. Alright, what we will do is we will handle this wiring. So I'm going to put a dot of Bondic. I'm inclined to use B7000 because then we want to run it along here as well. Maybe I use B7000 because Bondic turns yellow, and do we want yellow on the... Just hurts me a second as I stab myself with the pin. So something like so. Let's take that in place now. I'll give it a moment to take. I'll take those off. In the meantime, we can put some fencing panels on. It's going to be a process doing the wiring, isn't it? And we can get that other light going. We should do the light first. So the light kind of goes, you want the fencing panels here, so the light's probably going to go around here. So I'm going to do that with Bondic again. No, B7000 even. And where is my little light? And you want it with the wire, so you want it with the wire pointing towards the house. So something like so. Right, let's go get those fencing panels and we can get that done. Okay, so I'm going to use wood glue for these because they're not doing anything, so just make sure your pattern's up the right way. And use some wood glue or whatever glue on your posts. Make sure your wiring's out the way. Which mine really, really wants to be attached. Okay, like so. And then you want one at the back going across, like across here. Again, not all the way to the edge. And one over here facing this way towards that. Totally moved that one when I moved the whole house. What if it's in line with the house itself? The other one is. I think it is, you know. I think we're going to be putting it up here. Get all the wires out of the way. So maybe we can attach it, this one, to the side here too at the same time. Give it a little bit extra support. Doesn't attach very well. And then this one goes next to the wall as well, the front wall there. So this one will go down here, like so. Oh, gosh. Okay. Okay, ready and willing. So I've run this wire along here, along the bottom, between the fencing and here at the bottom, along here, and the last bit of B7000 I use is here, because the wires are going to go through this hole. This one I ran up here, across the top, and up here, and that's ready to go in. But this one is very long, so we are going to trim this because we don't need it that long, same as we won't need the roof one to be that long. Keep your wires, you never know when you might need an extension, so try not to pull your wire, but you can strip it, and you can either use a tool like this or, and you can see that then, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, you can just about see the wire there, and that's bare wire, and that's what you want. I don't know what I was going to say. Anyway, you don't need to have them as long as they were. And then we're going to put these both into the hole and bring them up to the top. So this may need gluing down. We'll see what a good seal we get. The roof one's going to need trimming too, by the way, but this one probably not. This one it's had a lot further to go, so it's quite short. However, it does need more wire on the ends, so let's get that sorted. Now the good news is all of these wires have plenty of room in the house to hide, so if you do happen to have them long and you haven't trimmed them and you're nervous about trimming them, I understand that, then it's not going to matter. You can just tuck them down. Whoops. That's going to pull the whole wire. Don't pull the wires, I say. And then this one also go here, and we want to pull that one up as well. And up they go. And again, we may need to put a little bit of glue on here to hold them in place. It would be better if they were following the same colour rather than going round and round in circles. Let's see if we could do something about that, because then it would lie flatter. Ooh, I don't want to spend all the time doing this either. Okay, so we might need some glue on here yet. So those two are ready, these two are ready. Then we are going to get the roof ones ready. So all the roof ones are going to do is pop onto here, so you don't need much at all on here. So I'm going to trim them, probably about here. This is when you start sweating because you're like, oh, have I messed it up? I know how this goes. And do this, and this one, and this is going to drop from the top the right way up into here, but we don't want to fasten it down yet. And then we need to get, where is it? Here, this little tab, and this is going to go in, and we need those wires to be a bit more exposed as well. Now, if you're not using wire nuts, then it does have tape. You just need to make sure that it was a really weird design. The grey wires go to the white wires, and the white wires go to the grey wire. There we go. So what we want to do is get this in with the on-off switch, this on-off switch closest to this edge here. So we get that wire out the way. So I believe it's meant to be glued in, so we want to get those wires in. It doesn't say how to connect it, to be honest with you. Maybe if I put it in, no, it's going to have to go in the right way. Oops. You know, if I do it that way, how on earth am I going to do that with these two things poking out? I think they're going to have to go in like so, and then turn it once they're in. I don't want to mess with it too much. Ooh, let me have this face of me, guys. I didn't want to make this easy. And you kind of don't want to apply pressure here. Give me a moment, see if I can find out an easy way to do it, or if it's just a bit of battle. Okay, I'm not saying that this will work, so let's see if the lights actually work, because I actually had to bend those two metal pieces which was sticking out, so I don't know if I may have messed it up. And I'm just going to put a tad of glue up here, a B7000. Then we sort the rest of the wires out if they're in the right spots or not. And that's just to hold it in place, like so. Right, now let's get all those wires back out and get the tape out of the way. Very short wires again. I think it's actually short from the on-off switch, to be honest with you. Okay, let me tape that in a second. It actually. Okay, I'm just going to fish out these wires if I can. Right, so these are these two here. These two are the main unit ones, and these are all the extras that we have, including getting that roof. And they're thinner, they're slightly thinner wires, so it gives you an idea of what you're dealing with. And then this, I'm going to just do from afar. Right, let's get all the whites together first. So just line them up. Get your white here. Come here. And then your grey from the box, and they're different colour wires. The one which has the main wire is silver in colour, whereas the others are copper in colour, and it is a real tight fit because of the box more than anything. I mean, real tight. And I don't know what the solution would have been, because I don't think it would have pushed from the inside out either, so you couldn't have pre-planned this. Oh, not that wire. Have I got all of them? No, I only have two. That's grey. Which one am I missing? Oh, this one. And three. And then what you'll do is, once you've got them, once you've got them in place, is you will twist them all together, and if you're using tape, this is when you will apply your tape. So I'm missing that silver one at the moment, the main one that we need. Oh, missing a few of them obviously. And then twist them all together, and then you put your tape on, or if you're using wire nuts, you still have to twist them together, you don't get out of doing that, but because my twisting isn't that good, then you put the wire nuts on, and I've shown it in other models, but I'll show you what it looks like on the inside of the other one before I do it. Let's hope and pray it works, because like I said, to get this in is a little bit of a tight fit. Okay. Right, so wire nuts look like this on the inside. Ooh. So you can see that's where you put your wires into. So now we need the white main wire, which is this one, and again it's silver in colour, the actual wires themselves, along with all our grey wires. So that's one of the other grey ones. I am missing a grey one. Oh, there it is, I see it poking over here. And again, twist them all together. Like I say, really tight fit. And yet the wires were actually quite long, except for the main box part. So we put this in, and then we test it and we get everything tidied up. Can't put them in the middle. And just go as far as you can, as tight as you can. Makes much more sense that they would have white going to white, by the way. Yeah, a bit more. Rather than white going to grey. Oh, and to feed the pups. And then this one as well. Just double check it. Okay, we should be good. Let's see if we have anything. And we do. There we go, we got that one. Got the ceiling one. Oh, can't see that. The ceiling one going. Got the street one going. And we got little sign. How cool is that? Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to leave them on a second. Is you want to poke all these wires inside, but before we seal it all up, we're going to put a piece of paper on it, which doesn't explain where the ceiling wire goes, or maybe it does because it goes down. No, I still don't get it. Anyway, we're going to put this piece on because that's what it wants us to do, and then we will tidy everything up. So I'm just going to use some tacky over the top here. Thank goodness the wiring worked. I did wonder, I literally had to squeeze together the little pieces on the main box in order for it to go through. No, definitely going to have a problem with that back wire. They never quite thought that through, did they? And you're meant to put this in before you seal it up, so yeah. I don't know how you're meant to do that. In all honesty, not with a wire there, without the roof being on. But it is meant to be on something like so. Okay, and then put this on. Then we put the roof on, which I'll do now. And then we'll tidy up all this wiring, which isn't too bad actually. the wiring isn't so bad because we've done most of it, so it's just a little bit. I need to replenish my wood glue again. The paper didn't go down well. I guess the roof will keep that in. Should have done the back first because I've now got glue all over me. Okay. So then position your roof on it. Okay. Then we can just tidy up those wires. I will explain about the backing thing because I know it wasn't too. So on the back, I think I did show it. It had two silver areas. So it had a circle and then it had two silver areas which stuck out along with the nodule which has the wiring. So it's those two silver ones. I actually had to push them up in order to make them stay basically. So now I'm going to glue these wires. I don't need to do the top one, just this bottom one, and I don't even know if I need that really. Maybe a little. So I'm just going to tidy this up. Oh, sorry fence. That fence is fated. I've knocked it by like 4 times I think. So I'm just going to use tacky for this actually, rather than B7000. So I'm just going to put a bit on there just to keep it tight. And put a bit of tape at the bottom. Plenty of tape here while I've above as well. And that'll just keep it in spot until, oops, not the roof off. Oh, yoey. Stay on there guys, stay on there. You can keep the paper down. Daft idea that paper is. I think the roof would go up the other way so it'd have a better seal, wouldn't you? I guess it'd be less reflective. And right, so now we will put the rest of the stuff in and we will finish today. I wasn't sure when we started today, but we will. We will be done. Alright, bear with me. Alright, last bits of decorating. So, I noticed my roof's actually upside down. So the steps are meant to be going downwards and then probably this would fit around the edge of the wall. Mine aren't going to be like that. And this has fallen off. So mine just aren't like that, as you can tell. So let's get the rest of this in anyway. So let's do this, put this here. Probably I knocked it probably a few times, but in the end it didn't really need to go in that early, did it? Okay, so first things first, we have a sign on this far wall behind the door. And I can't change that roof because of the wiring. So if you'd done it right, then your wire would have actually hooked over. It wouldn't have been flat like mine's actually quite well hidden really. If it fit, the roof would fit better, but that's probably why the roof didn't fit well. And then our little cot is in it next outside. That's a bit of a bummer, but I'm okay with it. I think it looks alright. So it just goes like that with the 2 bags in front of here, and then we have the awning to put up as well. So I guess these bags are for sale, whereas the last one somebody bought. And then our flowers, which I'm going to turn that away around. We repurpose those leaves to go down more. And put it that way around. See take the bag too, like so. Then we have our awning, which is going to go up. I'm thinking super glue for that. A canopy, awning, however you want to think of it. My puppy thinks she's getting more treats and she's really not. She's had her treats now. She had her dinner well. So turn this on its side a second while we put this over. Alright, so the canopy's on, so let's get some tulips in. Get our table and chairs. Got one more sign to put into. So let's do our tulips here. We have 2 tulips, one will go up here. So let's do our chairs, which is the one that looks crooked, not that one. This one. And I'm going to put that over that wire so it doesn't show too much. Put our table in, which hopefully is the right height. And we'll distract from the chair having a crooked leg. And then put this other chair in. Then once we've put these bits in, all we have left is, it's perfect height actually, is the sign over the top. And they've been shopping, they've got their bag. And then you want the tulips, which side does it matter? We have it nearest to the house, so I guess we do that. So like so. And this one also in front of that fencing. My strange flower troughs that I didn't know what they were doing. It's very hard sometimes, so that's kind of how it looks towards the back there. And then we just got the sign to put on the front. See if I can put this on even. So other than the roof being upside down, well, right, what can I say? It probably would have fitted onto the building a bit better if it had been the right way up. But I think it looks kind of cool this way up too. And then I'm going to stick this on here. So this would have normally stuck straight onto the plastic. And this probably would have fitted over some of the wall. But with the wire in there, I don't know. It's kind of a bit strange. And there we have it, guys. Alright, and this is how we look. Let's put that light on. So all the lights work. I think that sign is actually really cute. And even the street lamp, at least it's in proportion. That's how it looks all the way around. So you can see how the back looks. Nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to. The wires are reasonably tidy. You could probably put, if you've got some light green stuff, which I have plenty of, probably put that on it too, to hide those wires. And then the flower box turned out to be well, considering I didn't know what they were talking about. And I do really like the light. And like I say, my roof's definitely not on proper. I could probably move it forward a bit maybe, because it wasn't totally stuck. Maybe something like that. Like I say, if it was up the other way, then it probably would have fitted over it, but I'm okay with it like this. And then that would have hid the tops of the walls. Alright, I'm going to stop complaining about it. Made a mistake. Alright, and that's what we have. And inside, bearing in mind that the roof will probably come off, that's how we look. So that pain in the neck cabinet right at the back there. Let me hold the roof. It looks alright. Our little thing, those flags that I did in front of the counter there, I might as well have used for the window because you can't really see them. And then our little cabinet to the side there as well, that looks kind of cool. And then the one at the front, you would have thought they'd have the pick your own type sampling taste thing on the outside, wouldn't you? But nevertheless, it's still quite cute. Looks a little bit jam-packed. Maybe I should have moved the cart over a little bit and had the bags over a bit more, but I think it looks alright. So what do you think? It lights up quite pretty, doesn't it? Anyway, I will get it short done so we'll be able to see. Oh, it wasn't the roof that moved, it was the chair. It's like, well, I only had a split second to be down before you moved me. Everything else stayed. Okay, so let me know what your thoughts are. I think it's actually a really cute looking thing, to be honest with you. And I think it's got... I may have done it wrong, but that's how we learn. That's so that you don't have to. That's what I'm going with. And I think that looks really very cute. And see if I can put this up at an angle for you. I have something coming which helps with balancing models at angles, and that's what it looks like. Doesn't look as good like that, does it? I think it looks better with it flat. Anyway, that's what we have. So I actually think it's a really cute model. Like I say, the majority of the instructions were really good. It was just that last, these flowers and me getting the roof wrong, which I didn't understand the principle. The pictures definitely weren't clear. And it's only when I came to put it on, it was like, oh, okay, that's what they meant. And that's kind of how we look. I think that looks alright. I think it looks really good, actually. So there we have it. You can see the things from the top there. You can see what's in the little shelving units and things like that. Very cute. Thank you very much for watching. Your comments are more than appreciated, and thank you for subscribing to the channel. It really does help. Please do like and subscribe for this build. It was one that you requested, so hopefully I've done it some reasonable justice. And yeah, I can't believe that the electrics were such a pain to put in, to be honest with you. Anyway, most of all, take care of yourselves. Take care, guys. Bye-bye. Okay, so I thought I would do an update to this. I did go and change the roof. So I did flip it, put it in, and glued it, and thought I would update you. Took this off, put it back down. So it's a little bit rough around the back edge here where the just glue has been previously. So it's not perfect, but it is now the right way according to how they wanted it. So, like so. And it looks like that on the side. So I thought I'd run you an update because I will be doing a shot. I had to redo this wiring, by the way. It did catch on it when I pushed it over. It caught the wire, so I had to re-glue all that. So it is down the right way. So I will put an update in on the video at the end to have this show. So thank you very much again for joining me. Any comments are much appreciated. Take care. Bye.